Good morning, dear students of class 8. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to take up part 2 of the lesson. This is Jodi's fawn. So first let us revise what we did in part 1 of the lesson. So this lesson, Jodi's fawn. In the story, Jodi's father had been bitten by a rattlesnake, and in order to save his father, a doe was killed and its heart and liver was used to draw out the poison. Now Jodi was wondering what is going to happen to the little fawn who is left without a mother. Jodi goes to his father, Penny, and who is taking rest. He asks his father to allow him to go to the forest in order to bring the fawn home, as the fawn was motherless and would be starving. Now father also agrees. He says that yes, he is very grateful to the doe who had saved his life, and now the fawn would be motherless and had to be taken care of. Jodi further says that he is going to the forest with Millville, so they should not worry about him. Even the dog Wilson, he also says that the decision of father, Penny, and son, Jodi, is right. So mother finally has to give up. She cannot say anything. Finally, she agrees. And now Jodi with Millville, they both set out to the forest in order to find the fawn. And when they are starting, Jodi says that will he be alive? Now this makes Millville ask that how does he know that he is a male fawn? If he is alive, they are going to find him. The spots, they were all in a line. And all this education about wildlife was given to Jodi by his father, Penny. Now part 2, let us start today. Jodi gave himself over to the thoughts of the fawn. They passed the abandoned clearing. So they were just progressing further and further. Abandoned means left out, clearing a place of land that was cleared. He said, cut to the north, Millville. It was up here that Pa got bitten by the snake and killed the doe, and I saw the fawn. So he tells Millville the direction where the Pa got bitten by the snake and the doe was killed, and Jodi saw the fawn. Suddenly Jodi was unwilling to have Millville with him. He did not want that Millville should accompany him. If the fawn was dead and could not be found, he could not have his disappointment seen. He wanted to be left alone, because if the fawn was dead or was not found, then Jodi would feel very sad, and he did not want anyone to see his sadness. He wanted this emotion to be very private, and if the fawn was there, the meeting would be so lovely and so secret that he could not endure to share it. And on the other hand, if the fawn was found, then their meeting is going to be really lovely, and he did not want to share that happiness also. He said, it is not far now, but the scrub is very thick for a horse. I can make it on foot. Now, Jodi decided a way out. He said that the grass is very thick, and the horse will not be able to ride. I will manage it on foot. But I am afraid to leave you, boy. Millville said, I cannot leave you, boy. Suppose you got lost or got bitten by the snake too? He says, there was fear. If you were lost or you got bitten by the snake, I'll take care. It might take a long time to find the fawn. If he's wandered, leave me off right here. He said that it is going to take time and I know how to take care of myself. And it may take long time to find the fawn. Maybe he's left that place. So please leave me here. All right. But you take it easy now. You know north here and east. So now Melville said finally, okay, you can go. But now don't get too much worried. You know the directions. There and there. That tall pine makes a bearing. He says, fine. This is a kind of compass, the tall pine, which would let me see the directions. So long, Melville, I'm obliged. So he thanked Melville. He waited for the sound of the hoofs to end. He wanted Melville to leave the place. He did not want to hear the sound of the hoofs, the thumping of the horse. Then cut to the right. The scrub was still. Only his own cracking of twigs sounded across the silence. Now he could hear only his sound of his feet that was falling on the twigs. He wondered for an instant if he had mistaken his direction. For a minute he thought, he has mistaken his direction. Was he in the right direction? There a buzzard rose in front of him and flapped onto the air. There was a buzzard, large bird like vulture, who was flying. He came into the clearing under the oaks. Buzzard sat in a circle around the carcass of the doe. So the doe's dead body, was lying there, and buzzards, the large bird like vultures, they had all surrounded the place. They turned their heads on their long, scrawny necks and hissed at him. He threw his bow at them, and they flew into an adjacent tree. So they did not want Jody to come there. It was a kind of hissing sound they made, a warning. But then Jody, he threw his bow at them. So they just moved. They flew to the adjacent tree, the nearby tree. The sand showed large cat prints, but the big cats killed fresh, and they had left the doe to the carrion birds. So even he could see the cat prints, the prints of the leopards. But then the cats, they kill the fresh animals. Probably as the doe was killed, they had left it to the vultures. He parted the grass at the place where he had seen the fawn. So now he reached the place where he had seen the fawn. It did not seem possible that it was only yesterday. The fawn was not there. He could not see the fawn. He circled the clearing. He just tried to move around the clearing. There was no sound, no sign. The buzzards clacked their wings, impatient to return to their business. So the vultures, they were now becoming impatient because they wanted to be near to the carcass of the doe. He returned to the spot where the fawn had emerged and dropped on all the fours, studying the sand from the small hoof prints. So Jody now returned to the place where he had seen the fawn. And then he just went down on all his fours and then he started studying the sand for the small footprints of the fawn. The night's rain had washed away all tracks except those of cat and buzzards. So probably the night it had rained, and so all the track was clear except only the footprints of cat and buzzards could be seen. So we stop here. We'll continue with the remaining in the next class.